One day, Larry and Andy were playing in their backyard. Larry was working on his project for school on the picnic table, and Andy was swinging in the swing, when all of a sudden, something just went zipping by and crawled right through the crack in the fence. Larry jumped up and he screamed, "What was that?" Andy said, "What? What are you talking about?" He said, "Something just went zipping by the playground. What could it have been?" Andy said, "I didn't see anything," and he kept on swinging. Well, Larry was very curious. He had never seen anything that could move that fast before. He went over to the fence and he looked over into the woods, but he didn't see anything. Well, soon it was time to go in. The next morning when they came out to play, Larry was very curious. He said, "Andy, let's go hiking." So they squeaked through the hole in the fence. They went into the woods and they followed all the paths and trails that they could find. Finally, Andy said, "I'm bored. I'm going to go back and play on the playground." Well, Larry didn't want to go back, but he knew he better not let his little brother go back by himself. So he said, "Okay, I'm coming." So they went back to the playground. Well, the whole time they were out there, Larry kept his eye out on the woods. Surely it would pass by again. But it didn't. They went in for lunch. When they were through with lunch, Larry went up in his room and he got a little stool and he got his binoculars. They went back out to play. While Andy was playing, Larry squeaked through that crack in the fence again with his binoculars and his stool. He went maybe half a yard's worth of distance into the woods. He found himself a nice shady tree, put his stool down there, and just sat. He sat and he sat. Every once in a while he would use his binoculars and he would look around, but he didn't see anything. But he still sat. He was very patient. And suddenly, behind one of the trees, he saw something that looked green. It was some kind of creature. He didn't think he'd ever seen anything like that before. Well, he decided he was going to just sit there rather than walk over near it. So he sat, and in a few minutes, he saw that same little green peeking out from behind a tree, but this time the tree was very close to where he was sitting. He still sat, very still. Finally, the creature came out from behind the tree. Wow! Larry was so excited. He had never seen anything like that before. The creature, but he still sat still. The creature came closer and closer. Finally, that little creature crawled right up on Larry's lap. And this was that creature. Larry was very, very excited now. His heart was pounding. It was so cute. It even let him touch him. Well, after a minute, he crawled back down and he zipped. He used those wings and he flew through those woods and disappeared. Larry never saw him again, at least not that day. Well, Mom was calling dinner. It was time to go in. They went in for dinner. And while they were eating dinner, outside they heard the strangest noise. It was a whistle like they'd never heard before. And Dad said, "I wonder what that is. I've never heard that sound before." So they all got up and went out the front door to look around. And there was a man walking down the street blowing that whistle. So Dad went over and he said, "Hello, sir. My name's Dan. Glad to meet you. My name is Harry." Harry said, "I just moved here from Australia, or at least a little island off of Australia. And I had a pet. And when the movers were moving things, the cage got opened and he disappeared. He's a friendly little pet, but one you've probably never seen before. And just then, out pops the same little creature that Larry had seen in the woods. Larry said, "Ah, I've seen him before!" And the little creature walked right over and rubbed up against Larry's leg. "Well," Harry said, "I see you two have met already. This is a draconian. Draconians are only found on the little island that I lived on south of Australia. They are so sweet and so kind. The only reason I was allowed to bring him into this country is because I'm a scientist. I have a special permit to have him. You guys don't have anything like this in the United States. I would be glad for you to become friends with my draconian." Well, they talked for a little bit longer, and then everybody went home, including Draconian with his dad. Well, from that day on, every day after school, you can just guess where we wanted to go. And we would go down and we would visit the Draconian every chance we got.